As one of the world's top mercenaries, I was betrayed during a secret operation 3 days before my wedding, leaving me with paralyzed legs. My fiancé immediately broke up with me and ran off with my best friend, Justin White. In my despair, it was the commander, Scarlett, who sent me to the hospital and organized a team of specialists. When she learned I might never walk again, she knelt down and proposed, confessing her long-held feelings for me and declaring that the position of Mr. Shin belonged only to me. Touched by her devotion, I accepted her proposal in front of everyone. For years into our marriage, 8 months pregnant, I overheard a conversation between her and the strategist. "Boss, thank goodness you traded Ethan Hunt's legs and the Serpent Squad to secure our victory. Soon you'll unify all the organizations." Scarlett smiled contentedly. "That's secondary. The most important thing is that Justin got to marry Ashley Lee. Even if I can't be his true love, I'll clear every obstacle for him. As for the baby in my belly, once it's born, we'll give it to Justin. That way, he'll be fully established in his wife's family." In that moment, I woke up from my dream. My marriage was nothing but a sham. And the child I cherished was just a stepping stone for someone else. Wiping away my tears, I sent a text, "I'll be your hostage in 3 days. Want me?" The conversation inside didn't stop after the message was sent. "By the way, too, how's that thing I asked you to do coming along? Ethan Hunt's been regaining some feeling in his legs lately." "Boss, don't worry. Dr. Anderson, the most authoritative doctor I contacted from Nation S, will ensure his legs never recover by injecting him with anticoagulants daily. But the process might be a little painful." Hearing this through the wall, Scarlett's tense demeanor immediately relaxed. She chuckled. "Painful? Don't forget, Ethan Hunt is one of the best mercenaries. What's a little pain to him? Inject him hard, and make sure you don't use any anesthesia. His legs need to be completely necrotic." Hearing this, my heart ached beyond words. I covered my mouth to stifle any sound. Before Scarlett could discover me, I quickly wheeled myself back to the bedroom, piecing together fragments of memories. For years ago, during my last mission, my location was leaked, and I was ambushed by the enemy. They were ecstatic to capture me, repeatedly stomping on my head. My legs were brutally shattered with hammers. When I woke up, I was abandoned in the street. My fiancé saw me and immediately recoiled, leaving me a bloody mess on the road. In my despair, Scarlett came to me, took me to the hospital, and stayed by my side every night. Back then, I naively thought I had found true love. Little did I know, she was the one who pushed me into the abyss. If I hadn't been betrayed by someone close, my location couldn't have been discovered. And everything she did was for her beloved Justin White. My life and death, even the child in my womb, were just paving stones for him. Thinking of this, I frantically beat my legs, but felt nothing. I slumped off the wheelchair like a pile of mud. Just as I struggled to get up, I heard Scarlett's anxious voice. "Hunt, what happened? Why did you fall out of the wheelchair?" She rushed to my side, scooped me up in her arms, and immediately knelt down to check my legs for injuries. Her movements were as skilled and gentle as ever, but I could no longer feel her warmth. "I'm okay. I just wanted to see if my legs could still support me." Scarlett immediately hugged me, her voice full of heartache. "Hunt, don't worry. I'll always take care of you, even if you can't stand up for the rest of your life. I don't care. Besides, our baby is already 8 months old. I promise, once the child is born, I'll devote myself to you and our son." If I hadn't overheard those words outside the study, I would have been incredibly moved by Scarlett's affection. But now, I felt only icy coldness. "Oh, Tu brought back an expert from overseas today. I just met with him, and he said he can help you recover from your leg injuries. You might have to endure some pain every day, Hunt. I know how much you want to stand up again, so I'll do everything I can to help you, no matter the cost." She waved towards the door, and a doctor in a white coat walked in with a thick needle. I shook my head, looking at Scarlett. "I don't want the injection. I can recover without it." Scarlett's gentle face stiffened, a hint of displeasure flashing in her eyes. Her tone was firm. No, I'm doing this for your own good. In the next second, she forcefully pinned my shoulders down, and the cold needle pierced my spine, churning inside my body. I trembled with pain, and my last shred of love vanished before I passed out. When I opened my eyes again, it was late at night. My legs felt unbearably heavy. Scarlett was by my side, never leaving. Seeing me awake, her eyes were filled with concern. Hunt, you're awake. Do you feel uncomfortable anywhere? The doctor said you'll regain feeling in your legs soon. You're so strong. Scarlett looked at me sincerely, but I could only manage a bitter smile. I gently stroked her red-rimmed eyes. I'm fine. Go get some rest. Soon, Scarlett's breathing deepened as she fell asleep beside me. I picked up her spare phone from the pillow, which I had never touched in our 4 years of marriage. As expected, the password was Justin White's birthday, and the pinned contact on WeChat was my beloved Justin. Inside, I found heartfelt messages from Scarlett, much warmer than the casual words she usually used with me. Justin White would also send her photos. They expressed their feelings through their chats, subtle yet profound. Of course, all these photos were neatly saved in Scarlett's album, a total of 9,999 pictures. The album was labeled The Only Love of My Life. Even though I had suspected it all along, seeing it with my own eyes still stung. Tears of self-mockery streamed down my face. The last straw was the private moments she had set up. They chronicled Justin White's life, starting 13 years ago. Even his sensitive stomach was marked in red as a special reminder by Scarlett. Shortly after our marriage, I developed severe stomach problems due to years of combat. When Scarlett saw my pale face, she simply said coldly, "Why are you being so dramatic?" and walked away. Only today did I realize that it wasn't that she couldn't care for someone, but that she wouldn't care for me. Then, a chat log caught my attention. It was dated on the day of my wedding with Scarlett, and it read, "If marrying her will make you happy, then I'm willing to sacrifice myself." The woman's simple confession elicited a touching emoji from the man. One couldn't help but marvel at such a great love. It's just a pity that the sacrifice was me, and all the love was given to Justin White. Since that's the case, I'll grant their wish. The next morning, I was awakened by the pain of the cold needle, and tears flowed involuntarily. I looked up and met Scarlett's concerned gaze. Hunt, you're working so hard. This is all for you to be able to stand up again, so you don't blame me, do you? When the child is born, I'll definitely tell him how strong his father is. Scarlett's tone was sincere, with no hint of deceit. But I couldn't be bothered to expose her. After the pain subsided, I nodded heavily. Scarlett immediately instructed the nanny to bring over the bird's nest soup she had prepared for me, blowing on each spoonful until it was cool enough to eat before feeding it to me. Her meticulous care almost made me doubt whether what I had heard yesterday was just a dream. But the stabbing pain in my spine reminded me that it was all real. After the meal, Scarlett went to handle some matters, and my phone rang. "Mr. Hunt, I'm reminding you that the siege is in 2 days. Don't forget our agreement." It was Naomi, the leader of the Dragon Squad, on the other end of the line. We used to be in the same team. As she spoke, I looked down at my atrophying legs. "I won't forget. But you have to keep your promise to me, fake your death in front of Scarlett." "Okay." As soon as I hung up, Scarlett pushed open the door and entered. What was that about in front of me? I quickly locked the screen and said calmly, "Nothing, just asking the psychologist if these disgusting legs of mine will cause you any psychological trauma." Scarlett didn't think much of it and hugged me tightly, her voice full of heartache. "How could that be? I know you want to give our baby a healthy father, that's why you're working so hard. Don't worry, your wife is a team leader. I've seen everything." Looking at her hypocritical face, I chuckled self-deprecatingly. "By the way, Hunt, the team is holding a celebratory banquet tonight to celebrate our successful takeover of the Serpent Squad and to prepare for the big battle in 2 days. You've been working hard these past few days, so I won't be home tonight. You get some rest." I shook my head calmly. "Take me with you." But Scarlett's expression suddenly became tense. "No, Your body hasn't recovered yet. I don't agree. With that, she turned and left without hesitation, leaving me alone in the bedroom. But a celebratory banquet bought with my legs. There was no way I wasn't going to attend. At 7 o'clock in the evening, I slowly entered the banquet in my wheelchair. Everyone was toasting and drinking, and I was the only one who seemed out of place. Isn't that Commander Shin's husband? He never attends these kinds of events. If you ask me, even if he was great before, he's just a cripple now. Yeah, I really feel sorry for the commander. She has to spend the rest of her life with a man like that. She would have been happy if she had been with Commander White back then. I bet they'll rekindle their old flame. Didn't you see them going out to the terrace together just now? Hearing this, I wheeled myself to the terrace, where I heard a familiar conversation. Justin, don't blame yourself. It's not your fault that Ashley is infertile. But I always feel like I'm not a complete man without a child. I can't wait any longer, Scarlett. Can you help me? Scarlett Shin was full of heartache, and her eyes held a restraint I had never seen before. She immediately took out her phone and dialed a number. Dr. Anderson, I'm going into early labor in 2 days. Get the surgery ready. Ms. Shin, I'm afraid that's not appropriate. Your body isn't in good condition to begin with. If you induce labor now, your uterus will definitely be damaged, and you and Mr. Hunt will never be able to have children of your own. No need to say more. I've made up my mind. No matter the cost, I want Justin to be a father. Scarlett Shin answered without hesitation, deeply piercing my heart. So that's what it really meant to love someone, to be able to do anything for them. But what about me? Was I just meant to be sacrificed, to never be a father? Tears streamed down my face silently. The wheelchair accidentally bumped into a vase, alerting the 2 people on the terrace. Scarlett Shin quickly walked over, a look of panic flashing in her eyes. Hunt, when did you get here? What we were talking about, you. I didn't hear anything. I just arrived. I heard you were on the terrace, so I came over. Scarlett Shin visibly breathed a sigh of relief, while Justin White stood and said to me, Ethan, long time no see. I suppressed my grievances in my wheelchair and said with a smile, long time no see. I was bored at home alone, so I came out to join the fun. It's nothing now. I won't disturb you. With that, I turned to leave. Scarlett Shin hurried after me, draping her coat over my shoulders and squatting down to say to me, don't overthink it. Justin is the commander of the team, after all. With the big battle coming up, I specifically asked him to come over. We were just discussing the battle plan. Scarlett Shin's affectionate demeanor made the cameras in the room take pictures like crazy. But I knew that all she was doing was to prevent Justin White from being tainted by any scandal. Don't worry, I'm not that narrow-minded. You 2 can discuss it. I'll be a good boy and wait for you at home. When I got home, I threw all the clothes I had made for the baby into the trash. This child was not meant to be mine. Scarlett Shin and Justin White came home and saw the scene. A look of shock flashed in her eyes. Why are you throwing them away? I said expressionlessly, the baby isn't due for a while, and these are already outdated. Scarlett Shin didn't suspect anything, but Justin White's face flashed with a hint of smugness. Ethan, I have a relative who is about to give birth. Can you give these to me? My hand paused. No, I made these for my baby. If you want to give something, go buy it outside. With that, I turned to leave, but Justin White suddenly grabbed my arm. His nails left deep marks on my arm. Ethan, you'd rather throw them away than give them to me. Do you hate me? I winced in pain and forcefully shook off Justin White's hand. But he fell backward. Scarlett, help me. The woman immediately rushed forward to pick him up and slapped me out of my wheelchair. Ethan Hunt, when did you become so vicious? Justin just thought it was a waste to throw them away. You don't want to give them, so why did you have to attack him? There was a buzzing sound in my ears. But the word vicious was exceptionally clear. I suddenly laughed. Scarlett Shin, even if I'm vicious, I'm not even a tenth as vicious as you. Scarlett Shin frowned, a hint of panic flashing in her eyes. What do you mean by that? Don't try to change the subject. Apologize to Justin. Before I could speak, Justin White said magnanimously, "It's okay, Ethan didn't mean it. I'm a little hungry. Can you make me something to eat?" Scarlett's unrelenting attitude immediately relaxed, and she took the man's hand and turned to leave. And my whole world seemed to shatter at that moment. I got back on the wheelchair and waited for tomorrow to come. Scarlett, I believe you will like the gift I am sending you. The next morning, the big battle was about to begin. Scarlett left early, and Justin White found me in the bedroom. As soon as he opened the door, he pulled down the collar of his silk pajamas, revealing a flurry of hickeys on my chest. "Ethan Hunt, you really are a cripple in a wheelchair. After 4 years, you still haven't warmed up the woman's heart." If I hadn't heard what Scarlett said under me yesterday, I wouldn't have known that she had carved me into her heart, and you're just a tool to be used. As he spoke, his eyes fell on my crippled legs. His eyes were full of malice. "When the baby is born tomorrow, I will torture him to death. Think about it, how could I possibly raise your child? This is just a lie I made up to take your place." I didn't say a word. I looked down at the time and turned off the recording function. In the next second, the door was kicked open, and I quickly lost consciousness. When I opened my eyes again, I felt my hands tied up, and a sack was placed over my head. Justin White's cries for mercy came from beside me. "Let me go. If you hurt me, Scarlett will never let you go." I calmly calculated the time, feeling that it was about right. As expected, Scarlett led the team in and broke down the door. I was dragged up from the ground by a soldier, and Naomi laughed. "Commander Shin, you came fast. As soon as you heard it was someone named White, you didn't even fight." Scarlett's nervous voice rang out. "Let him go. Surrender today." Naomi laughed wildly. "I'm not letting you surrender for your sake. You came at the right time. I've been waiting a long time for a multiple choice question. One is your forbidden love, and the other is your mercenary. Which one do you choose?" Without hardly any hesitation, Scarlett answered. "I choose Justin White. I choose him over anyone else." Naomi clicked her tongue and took out her gun. "Then kill the mercenary yourself, and I'll let your lover go." Through the crack in the sack, I saw Scarlett slowly raise her gun and say to me, "As a soldier, I believe you've already prepared to die. Don't worry. After you're gone, I'll take care of your family." Hearing this, I laughed self-deprecatingly. In fact, if Scarlett had looked carefully, she would have seen that my legs were covered in wrinkles because I couldn't stand straight. But she didn't. In the next second, there was a bang. Blood gushed out of my chest, and blood flowed like a river between my legs. But a satisfied smile appeared on my lips. Before I closed my eyes, I saw Scarlett rush forward to catch Justin White. "Quick! Get a doctor here. Justin, are you okay? Are you hurt anywhere? Were you scared? I'm sorry I was late." Scarlett picked up Justin White and ran out the door. As she left, she glanced back at the body on the ground and ordered the soldiers behind her to settle the person properly before leaving in a hurry. After the hospital examination, Scarlett breathed a sigh of relief when she was told that there were no external injuries. But for some reason, she always felt like something was about to happen. She took out her phone and was about to make a call home when she saw the soldier who had just settled the dead running over in a hurry. "Commander, I have bad news. That body that just died is your husband." The hospital fell silent. Scarlett dropped the phone she was holding to the ground. She rushed forward like a sword and grabbed the soldier's collar. Her eyes were bloodshot as she said, "What did you say? Say it again. Who was that body just now?" The soldier opened his mouth but didn't have the courage to say it again. After a long time, he stuttered, It's Mr. Hunt. After you left, I called the medic to prepare for burial, but when I opened the sack, I found out it was Mr. Hunt. He had already passed away." This time, Scarlett heard clearly, but she was unwilling to believe the bloody truth in front of her. Instead, she chose to deceive herself. She grabbed the soldier's collar and shook him frantically. Her eyes were full of rage. Impossible, impossible. You must be lying to me, right? Tell me, who asked you to do this, to play this joke on me? How could that body be Ethan? Since his legs were crippled, he's always stayed at home and never gone out. How could he have run to the battlefield and worn a mercenary's uniform? Scarlett's face was so gloomy that it looked like she would devour someone. But if you listened carefully, you would know that the always ruthless leader was now trembling. Perhaps even she didn't know why she was so agitated to hear that something had happened to me. But now she couldn't control herself at all. The soldier was also trembling in fear, and said with difficulty, It's true, it's the truth. Disabled legs, muscle atrophy, who else would have these characteristics besides Mr. Hunt? Oh, right, I also found 5 rings on him, with your names and the dates engraved on them. Commander, take a look. As he said that, he took them out of his pocket. And Scarlett let go of his collar and took it from him with trembling hands. She recognized it at a glance. Because she was too familiar with these things. For years ago, after my legs were broken, I woke up every night in fear, afraid that Scarlett would abandon me as well. In order to give me a sense of security, she bought a diamond ring worth $100 million from a foreign country and held a wedding in City A that was praised even to this day. The only shortcoming was that the groom was a cripple. After the wedding, she would give me a ring every wedding anniversary. She said it symbolized her unwavering commitment. Finally, last year, I suggested that I would prepare the rings for her this time. It's just a pity that I didn't wait for that day, and I discovered her deception. And she would never wait for our 5th wedding anniversary. At this moment, the blood-red liquid on the ring deeply pierced Scarlett's heart. She trembled and wiped the blood off the rings with her hands, but she couldn't wipe it off no matter what she did. A deep sense of powerlessness swept through Scarlett's body, and she hugged her head tightly and fell to the ground. But her mind kept replaying the moment she pulled the trigger, and blood gushed. But she never thought that the mercenary was me. And she killed me with her own hands. The soldier's words, passed away, hit Scarlett's heart like a hammer. She had originally thought that after the child was born, Justin White's position in his wife's family would be stable, so she could continue to live the warm and happy days she had before. As long as those secrets from the past were never exposed, I would be in the dark forever. But there are no airtight walls in this world. Scarlett shook her head in despair, trying to compose herself, but failed several times. In the end, the soldier helped her up. Scarlett carefully put the rings in her pocket and asked with red eyes, "Where's Mr. Hunt? I want to see him. I don't believe it. I don't believe he would leave me like this. We promised to stay by each other's side for life." The last sentence was almost screamed out by Scarlett as she struggled to hold back the grief in her heart. The soldier was terrified. He quickly turned around to take her to the scene. Just as she was about to leave, Justin White chased after her from the ward. "Scarlett, where are you going? I'm so scared right now. All I see when I close my eyes is the kidnapping scene. Don't go, stay with me in the hospital, okay? I really can't live without you now." In the past, Scarlett would have chosen to stay. But now, her head was full of images of my tragic death. She couldn't care about anything else, pushed Justin White away, and walked away without looking back. In the team's morgue, my body was neatly placed on the cold partition. The blood on my body had been wiped clean, leaving only a pale face. Seeing Scarlett walk in, Dr. Anderson stood beside her tremblingly and said, "Commander, please accept my condolences. Because Mr. Hunt was shot in the chest, it was impossible to save him." As for Scarlett couldn't hear anything else. She didn't believe it. She didn't believe that the cold body in front of her was me. She also didn't believe that I loved her so much and would be willing to leave her. But when Scarlett staggered to the partition and gently lifted the white cloth, she saw a man with the same face as me, but he was no longer breathing. And the wrinkles on his lower limbs because of muscle atrophy once again confirmed that this person was me. At this moment, the last ray of hope in Scarlett's heart was extinguished. She knelt on the ground and couldn't help but cry out loud. Hunt, it's me, Scarlett, look at me, okay? And our baby, look, She's moving in my belly. She's about to be born. You'll definitely love her if you see her. It's almost our 5th wedding anniversary. I saw the rings you prepared for me today, and I love them so much. I'll kneel down and propose to you like I used to. We said we would never separate from each other in our lives. Hunt, don't leave me alone, okay? Scarlett called out my name again and again, desperately and sadly. But all that echoed back to her was the silence in the whole R. Boom. Just then, Scarlett's phone rang, a strange number. She hung up, but the other party kept calling. In the end, she answered the phone with trembling hands. Commander, did you see your mercenary? How was today's choice? Do you regret it? Scarlett roared, Naomi Liu, you did this on purpose, didn't you? You knew that mercenary was Ethan Hunt, so you deliberately covered his head, making me kill him with my own hands. What were you thinking? Naomi Liu laughed on the other end of the line. I just wanted you to choose someone to save. You were the one who said you would choose Justin White no matter who it was. What's this? Did our great commander forget what happened just a few hours ago? But I really feel sorry for Ethan Hunt. Just imagine hearing his wife unhesitatingly choose another man before he died. How heartbroken he must have been. He probably couldn't even rest in peace. Oh, right, to celebrate your success in killing your own husband, I've prepared a gift for you. It's been sent to your phone. I hope you like it. With that, Naomi Liu hung up. Scarlett took out her phone and opened her email. Inside was a recording. She opened it, and the familiar voices began to play. Ethan Hunt, you really are a useless cripple in a wheelchair. For years and you still can't warm a woman's heart. If Scarlett hadn't told me what she said under my body yesterday, I wouldn't have known that she had carved me into her heart. You're just a tool to be used. When the child is born tomorrow, I will torture him to death with my own hands. Think about it, how could I raise your 2 children? This is all just a lie I made up to replace you. The entire recording struck Scarlett like a bolt of lightning. But she immediately recognized Justin White's voice. Scarlett shook her head in disbelief, unable to believe she had been deceived. She took out her phone and sent a message to Ashley Lee. The other party replied immediate. Ely, we divorced a long time ago. That man is full of bad intentions and turned my family upside down. Now I have a son and a daughter. I couldn't be happier. The trigger words caused Scarlett's memories to flood back like a dam breaking. For the past 2 years, Justin White had often sent her messages about how he was being mistreated at the woman's house. Not long ago, when they were talking about going to the hospital for a prenatal checkup, Justin White said that his wife was infertile and needed a child. So she thought about sending her own child over first to help him establish his position, and then find an excuse to bring him back when he grew up. But she never expected that it was all a scam. No wonder, every time she mentioned Ashley Lee in Sea City, Justin White always avoided the topic and changed the subject. No wonder, he hadn't talked to Ashley Lee on the phone in the 2 months since he came back. No wonder, he changed his wedding photo on WeChat to a solo portrait. Only now did Scarlett realize that there were so many suspicious details, but she was so foolish that she never noticed them from beginning to end. She even wanted to induce labor early for Justin White's sake, recklessly harming her husband. Today, all of this was her own fault. She was the one who killed her husband and almost killed her child. Thinking of this, Scarlett slapped herself in the face in frustration. Still not appeased, she knelt beside Ethan's already cold body and explained frantically, "It's not like that, Hunt, it's not like you think. Get up and listen to me explain, okay? I was deceived by him. I was blinded by lust and did the wrong thing. I was wrong, I was really wrong. I shouldn't have listened to him. I'm sorry to you and the baby. I'm sorry. I'm sorry." She didn't know how long she stayed like that, but Scarlett couldn't support herself any longer and collapsed limply on the cold floor, blood flowing between her legs. At the same time, the plane landed, and I was secretly sent abroad by Naomi Liu. She immediately hired the world's most authoritative orthopedic surgeon to reattach my bones and replace my legs. But the process was extremely painful because it had been delayed for many years, and anesthesia could not be used to ensure the union of each bone seam. But I wasn't afraid. I had already died once, so what was this pain? As long as I could stand up, no matter the cost. When I woke up again, I saw Naomi Liu, her eyes full of fatigue, guarding me. Seeing me wake up, the exhaustion in her eyes instantly turned to light. "You're awake. Do you feel uncomfortable anywhere? I'll go get the doctor." Seeing her anxious look, I shook my head and squeezed out a difficult smile. Seeing me like this, Naomi Liu rubbed my head, both angry and helpless. "You're like this, and you can still smile. Do you know that you've been in a coma for 5 days and 5 nights? I almost thought you'd never wake up again. Then I will make Scarlett pay with blood." With that, Naomi Liu took out a piece of paper from her pocket. "While you were unconscious, I investigated everything. It was indeed Scarlett who deliberately caused your accident back then. It's all my fault that I wasn't in the country at the time, otherwise." Before she could finish speaking, I shook my head with a smile. Everything was in the past, and I didn't want to know anything about North City. In the following days, I slowly did rehabilitation training. Although I had to learn to control my legs like a child, I felt very happy watching myself improve little by little. At the same time, I deleted all my social media accounts and re-registered. But even so, Scarlett's Tiger Head team was too famous. Even the large screens in foreign hospitals were pushing domestic news in real time. Only then did I learn that after my death, Scarlett, after learning that she had been deceived by Justin White, had gone crazy and locked him in a dungeon to torture him. Even Dr. Anderson, who had colluded with him, was directly executed. And Scarlett, who had always killed people quickly, did not choose to behead him this time. Instead, she tortured him slowly. She broke Justin White's legs alive in the same way and threw him into the street to be eaten by dogs. When I saw this news, Naomi Liu was by my side. She asked me how I planned to deal with Scarlett. If I needed her, she could immediately return to the country to assassinate her in the special ops team. I shook my head. There was no need. Death was only a moment, but forgetting someone took a lifetime. I didn't want Scarlett to die. I wanted her to live in regret for the rest of her life. In the days that followed abroad, I seemed to have found my former self. I would no longer lose myself because of love, nor would I let hatred blind me. Gradually, I sealed away all the memories of the past. But Scarlett was the opposite. After she punished everyone who had deceived her, she returned to our former home. After the incident, Scarlett did not dare to step inside because it was full of our memories. But when she got home and found that all the photos of me had disappeared, she panicked. So Scarlett called the butler to pull out all the surveillance videos. She wanted to edit out all the memories of me. But she accidentally saw me outside the study door that day, hearing her conversation with the strategist, tears streaming down my face. Scarlett finally realized that I had known everything for a long time. And I didn't cry or make a fuss, just to prepare a big surprise for her. Since she wanted me to be crippled, wanted me to live worse than death, wanted me to live in lies. Then I also wanted her to kill her own husband and 8-month-old child with her own hands. The purpose was to let her feel what heartbreak was. Silent tears rolled down Scarlett's face. At this moment, she regretted it endlessly, but who should she blame? She couldn't blame anyone. She was the one who personally ordered someone to break my legs, and she was the one who personally wanted to send our child away, even risking a cesarean section to give birth prematurely. Scarlett covered her face in pain and cried. After that, Scarlett seemed to have become a different person, locking herself in the team all day, unusually busy. But she wasn't busy with the team's affairs. Instead, she suddenly felt that maybe I wasn't really dead, so she retrieved artificial information from all over the world. But it was not easy to find someone in the vast sea of people. She searched for 7 years. 7 years later, I emerged again as the world's top mercenary. But this time, I wore a mask, had no name, but still made people tremble with fear. Soon, the newly formed small organizations were all taken over by me and Naomi Liu in tacit cooperation. This day, a newly formed small organization asked us for a decisive battle on the mountaintop. When Naomi, Lou and I arrived, there were no thousands of troops, only a somewhat familiar and somewhat strange female figure. She turned slowly and looked up. This time, I saw Scarlett with a full head of white hair. She excitedly wanted to step forward, but was knocked to the ground by Naomi Lou, her face covered in mud. But Scarlett didn't care, stubbornly propping herself up and speaking in my direction. Hunt, is that you? It must be you, right? Even if you wear a mask, even if you stand up, even if you become different from before, I can recognize you at a glance. Turbid tears slid down Scarlett's cheeks. I couldn't help but recall when I was crippled and thrown into the street. Scarlett looked at me like this too, right? Only at that time, I thought she was my salvation, but I never thought that she was the real culprit. Seeing that I didn't speak, Scarlett lay on the ground and begged, Hunt, my greatest wish in tea. His life is to see you again. I beg you, take off your mask, okay? I know you won't forgive me anymore. I just want to prove that you are still alive. You don't know how long I've been looking for you all these years. I still don't want to believe that you would leave me. As she spoke, Scarlett choked on her tears, snot flowing down her face. If it were before, I would definitely be moved by the scene in front of me. But now, no matter what she said, my heart didn't feel the slightest bit of fluctuation. Because, the one standing in front of her now was no longer Ethan Hunt, who loved her deeply back then. I raised my hand and looked at the time, not wanting to listen to her continue to talk nonsense, and turned to leave. This time, Scarlett's painful sobs came from behind. Her crying turned from whimpering to wailing, from sadness to regret. 3 days later, Lance Carter and I completed the unification of all the organizations. That night, the whole team held a celebration banquet for me. This time, I was no longer a supporting character in the crowd, but the star shining with light. After the end, I received a call from the hospital. The doctor told me that half an hour ago, Scarlett chose to cut off her own legs and died of pain in the hospital. At this moment, I couldn't say what I was feeling. It was like hearing the news of the death of an unimportant person. Then I heard the doctor slowly say, before she died, Commander left a sentence. Love like a beacon. As for what came after, she was already slurring her words. I looked up at the team's beacon and replied, yes, burn to ashes. Because, this was our mercenary oath. If there is any violation, love like a beacon, burn to ashes. Now she had done it. And I was about to head towards my own brilliant future alone.